You know, fair play for the British girls, the British women in Restore Britain. They are special, aren't they? They really are. I was having a look at some of the images from around the UK of the branches being set up by Restore Britain, looking at all the wonderful Restore Britain women in them, young and old. They really are special. Not for them just burying their heads in the sand or concerning themselves about what's happening on TikTok or Facebook. They prepared to put their heads above the parapet with the Restore Britain men and take their place besides them. Yeah, I really do support and respect Restore Britain women. I love every one of them like a sister. I die for them. I really would. And I'm sure Restore Britain men would also be prepared to risk their lives for the women of Restore Britain and their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren. Right, what are we going to be doing? Oh yeah, Great Societal Takeback. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. He uh, he took his sidekick, his brother, his kinsman brother, off up to Nottingham to get him blooded, see a bit of action. Yeah, total respect to the two of them. So what I'm going to show you now is a clip from our live stream of Sunday where I spoke to Great Societal Takeback on his return, and we looked at some of the footage he took whilst he was up there facing off against the Reds. He got into an argy-bargy at the end of it. We don't see it on film, but he handled himself well. Okay, let's go look. Pause, Paul. There you go, there's the link, GST. You might hear some background noise now, guys. There's a washing machine and a tumbler going. I've got sound cancellation on. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. For those of you who are wondering if that guy showed up today after this morning's live stream, no, he didn't show up. I didn't think he would. My wife was worried. She said, why did I have to challenge him? I said, because I wanted to. But she was watching the door all morning. I knew he wouldn't turn up. Not that it would have worried me if he had. So, just here, the link is out. If you'd like to come up and tell us about your day, only for a few minutes, if you don't mind, it'd be great. The stream will be closing at 9 p.m, guys. I'll tell you about why afterwards, later on perhaps. Don't forget, Ribye's show is out tomorrow, 7 p.m. Going to be good. Didn't have many people watch the video saying about it. Bit disappointed in that, but it happens. Not everybody wants to have the sex drive of an 18-year-old, do they? Put me off it a bit. Thinking of having to go out and do all that stuff again. Oh, no. I'm working on that as well. I'm working on that, Ribeye. I'm working on that. That'll be sorted out very soon. I'm going to have a cable straight from my brain straight into the CPU of the computer, and I'll just think letters. Thank you, Makeshift. I don't feel no different to when I was younger. You don't, do you? Well, some people do. Some people let themselves get old and that, don't they? I think it's obviously your physical body is going to get old, but your mind, if you keep it sharp and healthy, yeah. Although my short-term memory is suffering a bit. That is really annoying. It's like you're thinking about a book you've read and you think, who wrote that book? And you can't remember. Right. I just thought of the Three Musketeers, Alexander Dumas. See, if I hadn't remembered that then, that would have driven me nuts. Now I'm thinking, who wrote Swiss Family Robinson? No, that's annoying me because I can't remember. Oh, no, I can't. Who wrote the Water Papers? Charles Kingsley. Who wrote Gone with the Wind? Margaret Mitchell. Biggles, Captain W.E. Jones. Swiss Family Robinson. Who wrote Swiss Family Robinson? 10 brownie points to the first person who can remember who wrote Swiss Family Robinson. There goes the Tumbler now, boys. I don't, but my father did make sure he was there for a while before they shot him. No, Anna Frank. I remember Anne Frank. Didn't she write that piece of fiction in a green biro? Yeah. Later proven to be a hoax. You mustn't say it's a hoax, though, must you? You mustn't show the evidence to say it's a hoax. Said the mediocre moderator. At least I'll go down in history as the Green Arrow. Yeah, you'll go down and go. People say, who was that guy who was the Green Arrow's moderator? And they'll say, oh, I know. Oh, wasn't he the mediocre one of the two? Yeah. Interesting piece of fiction. I thought GST was going to come up. Quite true. And there was a portion of it written in green ink, which in green biro, which didn't happen until 1950, or much long after the war finished. The green biros came out. There was a big fuss over it, wasn't there, in the law courts and stuff like that. GST's on his way. Excellent, thank you. That's a good way to live, BC Wench. You don't even have to be a Christian to live by the 10 Commandments. Nothing wrong with Christian values. They're wonderful. New Testament is a great book, I think. Here we go. Okay. Got him here. He's working behind the scenes, I think. There you are.
Hello.
What? Your face, there's nothing wrong with it. Well, apart from the normal problems.
Yeah, it's because I'm too quick. I'm too quick. I'm too fast. Even at 37 years of age, I've still got the speed.
I saw your video. It was excellent. Excellent.
Thank you. I wish I could only wish. Sorry.
I was going to say, my wife's saying, why are you shouting? Go on, go on, go on.
Thank you. It's I wish I could take more. The problem that you've got is as more and more people started to come up and talk, they started to just bring the drums right next to where we were talking. So I'll be honest with you, we could have had some great content, but all you would have heard is just drums, 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 which is a shame. But this is the tactic these people play, you know. I've completely lost my voice, as you can tell.
You're safe. That's the main gist. You're safe. I know how
Yeah.
dangerous those places can be.
Well, I think it was an interesting one. I think like they were always trying to goad us. There was times I'm sure there's a lot of YouTubers there, so I'm sure there's going to be quite a bit on there. But right towards the end, everybody went off, but they didn't tell us that they'd gone off. So there was probably about 200 to 300 people, and then just two of us. And yeah, so as we started to fold the table away, somebody tried to jump on me. So it kind of, I'd been talking to the police most of the day. So fortunately, the guy was like, "Don't worry about it," because I flung this guy away, and he fell on the floor. And he said, "Look, I've been filming the whole thing. Don't worry. Obviously, you were defending yourself." So I was like, "No, that's fine. I appreciate that. Thank you." But yeah, it was they were trying to start violence all day. To be honest with you, we had a load of Middle Eastern boys that were turning up that were just going like that, and you're just like, okay, fair enough. But yeah, we were massively outnumbered, unfortunately, but was to be expected, you know. Nottingham, as they call it, Nottingham stand up to racism, as they call themselves. They number about 300 or 400, to be honest with you. So they're quite well established.
And what sort of age grouping are they? Are
So
they all?
this is no, yeah. So you've got two main groups. You've got like I'd say the 16 to the very early 20s, and then the rest of them are like in the 50s and 60s, to be honest with you. And you know, I think the interesting thing was towards the end of the day, we started to get a load of the older people come up and say what they've started chanting we don't agree with, because you know they were saying death to the right wing, and you know, like saying kill the right wing in the streets and stuff like that, you know. So it was a bit interesting. But like I say, as you can see in the videos that I've put up, and I've just put another one up as well, they just want to cover the face, you know. All the time they just want to cover the face. I offered a couple of them, say, look, okay, let's order a charity boxing match, and it was like, no, 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 and it's just okay, fair enough. You know, it's if you my argument was if you truly believe in what you stand for, you would show your face, you know. But no, it's one of them. There
Yeah,
was a lot
I
of there
understand.
was a lot of heart on our side, though. You know, there was a lot of heart.
Yeah. What about the police? How did you find the police? What were the police like?
So there was one incident where one of the women from our side got pushed to the floor, and a lot of the lads went to commit violence. But I'll be honest with you, I don't know if there's going to be YouTube videos about it, but there was me and another lad. We got stuck in the middle and managed to part it before it got a bit too leery. But I'll be honest with you, the vibe that I got from the police, they pretty much hated the other side, to be honest with you. You know, because all the time, deaf to the police. The police are fascists and stuff like that, and you could just see they were sick of it, you know.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest with you, I got a good. I'm not, you know, I've heard the horror stories about the police and I've seen it on camera, but I'll be honest with you, I had a good rapport. And to be honest with you, if you know the way I launched the lad, they could have easily put me in the back of a van, to be honest with you, because like I say, he's somebody that's renowned in Nottingham. You know, I think he was on the Charlie Veach video. There's quite a big guy, quite fat, and then there's another guy, a smallish chap, and they just try and goad violence. You see what I mean? But I think
Yeah, I
there was
do.
one guy that was arrested for having a knife on him as well, over their side as well, quite a big knife as well. You're talking the blade was good. I'd say good, most of 3/4 of a foot.
Wow, wow.
So
That's a
yeah.
big blade. Were the
Yeah.
were Unison there, the trade union Unison there,
Oh
or were
yeah,
you more behind them?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And they had
Because I
all the trade union signs, all the same ones. You know, it was like I say, it was all the same. And then I say the older ones started to come over and say this is not what we thought it was going to go. And my argument to this, and I had a very good conversation with somebody at the end. I said, well, you've been building up these young people to hate us and building and building up, and they've got such hatred in their hearts, they've got such hatred for the system that they've now become too radicalized even for you guys. And he pulled his hand up and said, yeah, I completely agree with where you're coming from. And I'm sad that I didn't get that conversation on camera, but like I say, I just had this lad that was just following me around with his drum. He just would not leave us alone with his drum. So it was a fantastic conversation, but nobody would have heard about it, even if I had a good microphone. You know, it was a shame, but
Hey, GST, if I ask Rabbi to get a link for me, can we play a bit of your video in the room?
you can play all of it if you want, my friend. I've just uploaded 2. I think I've uploaded a short as well. Like I said, I think the shorts one is the one where, like I say, have a look at the one on the shorts. That's the one where they're just all covering the face, and I film unison as well. And like I say, it's sad really, because you know they're taking these misguided young people and they're just brainwashing them and they're poisoning their minds. And when all the older lot went away, the younger lot, they carried on, but then they were like, well, we've not got these people now to tell us to stop us from being violent. You see what I mean? So
yes, I do.
That's when all the violent chants started coming out. But it was all right. I had a couple of them follow me back to my car, but they didn't really kind of, you stand up to them and you think, oh, right, okay, I'm not going there. Do you know what I mean?
I understand. We had a bit of drama in the room lunchtime here. Some guy come on, said he lived 2 miles from me. He wouldn't come up to the mic, wouldn't give his
Oh
name.
dear.
So I said, well, I'm going down to 2 miles away. It's a 30-minute walk. You can walk to in no time.
Yeah.
With car, 2 minutes by car. So I said, look, well, I'm going to the club. There's only one club in Blaenau. I know all the pubs in that area where he's from. He'll know all the pubs. Well, the only club in Blaenau. So I said, I'll be down there like from 12:30 on. Come on up, and let's have a talk 1-to-1. I waited. He didn't come. My wife got upset because I challenged him, because she said we are going back to the old days, like it was before.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I want him.
You have to be like that, don't you? It's the only language they'll learn.
Yeah,
it's the only language they'll learn. Like I said, there was a young lad there, masked up. You know, he was like, we're going to smash the fascists every single time. You know, and it was just delusional, because they're talking about Zionist scum off our street. And it's like, none of us here support the Israeli government. Nobody here support it, you know? And it's like, they're flying the Palestine flags. It's like, well, yeah, Palestine should have a free state. We just don't agree with what happened on October the 7th. You know what I mean? Like it's just, there's something like that. And in the end, like I say, it just goes from one thing to another, and they just want to play victims for everything.
Okay, let's have a look at a bit of the stream then. Shall we, GST?
Yeah, you go for it. Is that the short one, is it? Or one on the short?
The big one. Oh, I can.
Oh, okay. No, that's it. No. They all seem to be. They're all good. Like I say, I've got my little table there. Our country back, guys. This is the kind of thing we've got to do. We've got to make our voices heard. We've got to put our boots on the ground, and we've got to show them this is what we're about. Look you can see at the back there. Look, the unison flag. Neckerchief hides her face with glasses. Hiding a lot. This man's a patriot. He doesn't hide his face. I got a bit carried away. But you see that lad there that just gone past in the dark blue? He had a sign up saying "Smash fascists, smash fascists." I said, "I'll give you my phone number. I'll give you my phone number, and me and you will get in a cage, and we'll do it for charity." And he went off. And I said, "Look, I'm not trying to embarrass you. This guy you see now, He's at every protest in Nottingham. This one here.
You're a weasel.
That one. He always covers his
You're a
face.
pathetic weasel. Pathetic weasel. I will pay for you to go to Palestine. I will pay for you to go to Palestine. I will pay for your ticket. I will pay for your ticket. I will pay for your ticket to go to Palestine.
You see, all the police, they're all facing that way because they know that was the direction where the violence is coming from.
Sorry, man. The face
He's at
of
every single
education
protest that way.
failure. A minute ago, he was saying trans rights and he's waving a flag of Palestine. And I've said to this moron several times, what would happen to a gay person or a trans person in Palestine? And he cannot answer. They will get thrown off the building and stoned when they hit the ground. He hides his face behind a mask because he's a coward. Coward! You don't know what you stand for! Coward! Cowards! And they've said the police are racist, yet the police are protecting them!
That guy there. But I say, all of them masked
And this
up.
is the man that's got a knife on him!
That one there, you see, he was the one. You see the guy there? They pulled him out. They pulled him out and he had a 3/4 foot blade on him. And people were what? He kept flashing it. And eventually when they searched him, in all honesty, because he was black, I think they were scared to search him. And in the end, they searched him and found him.
I'm sure that's my megaphone.
Yeah, I thought she'd make my megaphone, but she had the same one.
More masks! More masks!
You know, they all look like they're going into surgery.
They wouldn't last 5 minutes if the police weren't here. We look at that guy, that guy's a unit.
Yeah. There he is, look.
Excellent. I'm going to see if I can find the short GST, okay? Stand by.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Carry on talking to our patriots.
Yeah, but like I say, it was just, the main thing was, it's a case of, every single time we spoke to people, it was like, yeah, we you know, Palestine, they've more than happy to have the state. But yeah, this is one, yeah. Yeah, look, these guys, they're just trying to cause trouble. We're going to smash it, I said, okay then, let's set it up, and I'll give you the opportunity.
Okay, I'll press play. Smash the far right. Yeah. Just having a look.
But they can't even show their face. They can't even show their face. You don't even want to show your face. You want to smash us. You don't even show your face. Why? If you're that brave and you want to smash us, why don't you show your face? Why don't you show your face?
That was what, you know what, they went on for about half an hour about how the Labour Party was the biggest thing, like the worst thing ever, and yet they had unison, and they had the Labour sign at the bottom of the unison sign.
Yeah.
Crazy. They just didn't stand for anything. Everything they said was just a contradiction. You see what I mean? It's like, you can't turn around and talk about gay rights and then talk about Palestine. In my opinion, is like a joint thing. You see what I mean? Because it's a country, I mean, it's their laws, you know, like I say, they're free to have their own nation, but don't make out that you can be gay in Palestine, because it's one of the many countries on the planet where you face a death penalty for being gay.
Absolutely. Same old signs.
Yeah, and you know what? You kept coming up with them statistics. Oh, where did you get your statistics from? The Tommy Robinson side, from Tommy Robinson. It's like, well, no, I don't support Tommy Robinson because of what's happened, you know. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, well, you know, but where did you get it from? I said, well, you know, I was like, well, you know, look, there you go, straight away. Honestly, there's about 3 or 4 unison flags there. It was just horrendous. But you know, it was like, what was I saying? Oh, so I've lost my train of thought now. But yeah, it was you know, they were like saying, where'd you get your stats from? And it's like, well, Google. It says, well, yeah, there you go. You know, they said, yeah, but to be honest with you, Google watered these stats down for you. So the actual stats are normally far worse. What you take from Google, you usually take it with a pinch of salt because it's usually worse than what it actually sounds. You know, I was like talking about like, you know, there's a stat where there's 900,000 people living in this country that came here illegally, which is, you know, 13 in every 1,000. And I was saying it to this guy, and he's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. So yes, it is. Look. And I showed him the stats. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's like, it's on the government website. No. That's a fake government website. And it's like, it literally says there, look, Gov, you get your phone out and you do it. And like, no, you're just a fascist. And it's just, honestly, it was crazy.
Well done for going, GST, and thanks for letting us show your content. That was excellent.
Yeah, no, honestly, we just show away. It's, Alex, like I say, I appreciate everything you've done.
Hey guys, don't forget to go over to GSTK's site, and if you haven't already, you've already subscribed. I know you lot have already, but just in case, please do so.
I will say keep an eye out on the upcoming days, because there's quite a few YouTubers there. They got some good footage. You know, like I say, there was little bits of violence here and there, but there was nothing major right until the end. Until like I say, it was no fault of the people that was with us. We ended up getting cornered, just the two of us. I think they thought we'd left, and they just, like I say, they just tried to jump us. And you know, full credit to the police. They did do their job. They could have quite easily, with the way I pushed the guy over, they could have quite easily took me into the van or something like that. And they said, no, don't worry about it, mate. You've been fine. You've been fine all day. So, you know, it was really good to see.
What about your cameraman? How did he shape up?
To be honest with you, like he was he got a bit too emotional with the whole thing. So he didn't really record much. The couple of times when I was asking him to record, he wasn't even recording. So, you know, he was just too pumped up. It was too emotional. You know, I'm sure, you know, you've spoken to him a few times, you know, he leads with his heart rather than his head sometimes, you know.
Well, he's sometimes he can't now, isn't he?
Yeah. He said it. Yeah, he said it a couple of times, and I said to him, I said, you know what? I said, this is the problem, my friend. You went on there, you know, and like I say, he went on there with, you know, with the intentions of spreading the word that he did. But it's like when he starts to actually look into these facts, and I pointed him in the right direction. He was like, oh yeah, I completely get what you're saying now, you know. And it's like, it's what I'm saying. The Green Arrow is a smart man, you know.
He's in the chat now. I'm going to see if I can get him up here. Okay, guys. Right, that was great. Societal Takeback UK. Wonderful guy. Talking about his time up in Nottingham. Get over to his site, like, subscribe, leave a comment for him. Yeah, I hope to go with him one day. I think that's it for now, guys. You've been listening to Paul Morris, The Green Arrow.